General Conference weekend calls for a big breakfast, and this breakfast cake is the perfect brunch that brings everyone together at the kitchen table. So our friend and recipe creator Amy Richardson brings the inspiration to our kitchen, and I know you have a backstory. What is it?
Well, okay, so at our house we actually have coffee cake for conference. What do you have?
Yes, I mean,
like
usually
people have
cinnamon
traditions.
rolls that I buy, or like
yum.
a good breakfast French toast casserole.
Kind of thing. I love cinnamon rolls, so I'm gonna have one every day when I'm old. But at our house we do coffee cake, and I was at Gourmandies, and we were just there like a week or so ago, and I went to go see like what kind of pastries am I gonna eat, and they had this huge loaf of, it was like a blueberry bread, and I was like, that is magnificent. The size of it, the shape of it, and I just was obsessed. And so I actually went out and just I ordered one on Amazon, but it didn't come fast enough. And so I went to Gigi's and bought some. Because I'm like, I've got to make this long cake, because how fun is that for a gathering?
And we're talking about these huge pans that make the loaves that big. And these are just not your normal pans. You're not just seeing these everywhere. So you're saying you found this one right here on Amazon.
And this one, that one was expensive. That was like $34.
Okay.
Okay, so that's an investment. But then I couldn't wait, so I called Gigi, and they said, we've got these for like $18, and they cook beautifully. I mean, they are wonderful. They're good. I didn't know, because they're a little bit thinner.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a little thinner.
And they turned out just gorgeous. The first one I made, I'm like, this is amazing.
Okay, good to know.
So fun.
Good to know. What I know the smells in here. You just have these flavor combinations going on. What are the different ones that you did?
So I thought it might be kind of fun to do an apple frangipane, which is made with Honeycrisp apples, and then it's got the almond, that makes the frangipane on the top in the crumble.
Okay, now that was a term I was not familiar with. Frangipane.
Frangipane, and it's just like almond paste.
Okay.
They say paste, but it's not. It kind of crumbles. You buy it in a little block, and it's delicious, and it has the most incredible flavor with apples.
Yum.
And then I decided to do a vanilla rosemary cake topped with chocolate and pistachios. We're going to make that one today. And then I did a granola. It's a granola topped pumpkin spice. So it's kind of got all the flavors of a maple granola in it, and brown sugar that's on the top of that one.
These all look amazing. Okay, so we're gonna make that middle yummy one.
Yeah, we're gonna make the middle
pistachio.
one. Okay, so one thing more about the pans is that, when I'm just talking about the recipes, is that this is basically, you could take any of your favorite recipe and double it, and that's what'll fit in here. If you want a super high one, like the apple one, that's 3 times, but it's a little bit tricky with the edge of the pan, because that's like science, it doesn't have enough heat on the sides, and it can collapse in the center. But you can have a sure success with a double batch.
All right.
Okay, so this is just basically our, it's butter, sugar, flour, and baking powder and salt is in here. And you just can do that in your hand mixer if you want, or you can do it by hand with a cutting. And then we've got a topping that is just flour and sugar and butter and a little bit of salt.
Flour, sugar, salt, and I'm just going to cut this together.
Yeah, and you can cut that together. And usually I do the topping first, and then that you can just set that aside, and then when you're ready, because once you add your moisture to this, it's going to go fast. Like, you got to get that in the oven. The longer it sits, the higher chance it has of falling. So you want to kind of keep that in mind when you're making stuff. So this is just 1.5 cups of milk, and you're just going to add your eggs to it. And this is kind of a fun technique that I use. You can either do it in a bottle, or you can do it in a measuring cup, and you just kind of put it all into a container and add a little bit of vanilla in there. And then we're just gonna put a lot of vanilla. But still, I think that actually the recipe calls for a tablespoon, so that's probably about right. You put your whisk into your measuring cup or into your jar or whatever, and it's all contained, so you're not just keep using more and more dishes. It's kind of a fast thing. So that's pretty much this, and then you're gonna make a well in the center of your dry ingredients, and then you're just gonna stir it together. How's that topping coming over there?
I'm working on it. The butter.
Oh, it's looking really good, I can tell. I know. You can actually, if you want to, you can do this part in your mixer. You just have to be really careful to not over-mix it, because the over-mixing, of course, is what's gonna make it more tough. The less all cakes and
You're just
anything
making
like
sure
that.
it just all gets moist, right?
Right. You just want to do it until it's just moistened, and then you've got, and also you want to just make sure that you don't over cut it. So you've got pieces of, still kind of pieces of butter in
We
there.
like the chunky.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's pretty much it on that. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to just want to put it into our pan.
You're using parchment.
Yes, you want to line it with parchment, and I don't spray it.
Okay.
Because you can just loosen the ends, and it'll just lift right out. And you want to do a little bit of an overhang like this so that you can actually lift the cake out when it's cooked. Or cooled, you know, and it's cooked, so you can do that. So you're gonna wanna just put it into your pan, and it looks so low, and you think, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the tiniest little cake, but then it raises up just beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing that it gets that large when it only looks like
Right?
this.
So then you can put your chocolate on top. You can do rosemary. Sometimes I like to do it in the milk. Sometimes I like to just put it on top of the bread, and you can just put it on there. You don't want to use too much chocolate.
Okay.
But no, we got to use more than that.
Oh, okay. I'm always like, oh, you're putting the major ones on there.
The first one I did, I put a lot of chocolate on there because obviously I like chocolate. So
Yes,
I'm like,
me
okay.
too.
And I probably went a little bit crazy, and I think it caused it to sink.
Sink a little
Yeah,
bit?
sink,
Okay.
because there was so much chocolate.
And chopped pistachios.
Chopped pistachios, and then you're just gonna bake it for about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, and then you've got this delicious coffee cake. So
That
easy.
is delicious. When do I put the crumble on?
Oh, and the crumble.
Oh, okay,
That's
this
when it
goes on
comes
now too.
yes.
Okay.
Actually, you put it on just right now, so I'm so glad you remembered.
Perfect.
Don't forget the crumble. No, we want that to go on
And do
the
we
top.
want the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of seems like a lot. The first time I did it, actually, I did a double batch of the crumble. If you want to put a few more chocolate chips or whatever on the top for decoration, you can, but they'll still kind of come through.
And does the baking, how long do we bake since it's a double batch? Is it different?
No, it's about the same.
About the
If
same.
you were to do the huge one, you know, that one, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to bake the huge one, but this one comes in still about an hour.
Okay,
So-
well, recipe, of course, we're sticking on the Studio 5 page, studio5.ksl.com. You can get this and make it this weekend.
Yeah, totally fun. You can make it the night before if you want, or you can just whip it up in the morning, and it will be cooking during the first session, and it will be delicious.
Okay, I know you had a little name change. Where are we finding you on social?
Yes, I have decided to kind of rebrand, so I'm just going by my name. So it's Amy Parker Richardson, and you can look me up, find me on Instagram, and follow me. The website is still all in place. It's a little bit different, and we're still working on it, but it works.
Okay,
So
thank
come
you
find
so
me.
much. Our families are all going to be so happy this weekend. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.